Double amputee Kathy Ann Jilks is a model of a person living with a disability who is keen on living a full, rewarding life. She recently completed a work experience course at the National Disabilities Unit, the NDU.
Congratulations, ma'am, for reaching this far in the program, and we hope that what you have learned you'll take with you into the future, into your world of employment.
And she has a plan, a dream.
In a hotel. It's where really it's work. Well, I would like to work in either the laundry or making up beds.
Like Kathy Ann, thousands of people living with disabilities in Barbados are not asking for much. Like every other person, they desire to be seen, to be heard, to be independent, to take care of themselves and their families, and to make their contribution to society and the country, to be empowered. And the mandate of the National Disabilities Unit is helping persons with disabilities realize these goals. The National Disabilities Unit was established in 2007, soon after Barbados signed on to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, with offices at Collymore Rock, St. Michael. The NDU, as it's fondly known, is a department of the Ministry of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs. And three of its standout initiatives helping to give persons with disabilities equal opportunities include the Work Experience Program, as well as the Floral Arrangements or Beauty in Strength Program and the Sign Language Program.
One of our main goals is for Barbados to be an inclusive society where persons with disabilities are able to fit in just like everyone else. And because there are some societal barriers, such as the discrimination and the negative attitudes that some persons have towards persons with disabilities. We need to dispel all those myths and actually break down these barriers. And because there are several barriers. Apart from those barriers, then apart from the societal barriers, there are actual barriers to education, barriers to accessibility, barriers to health, education, sports, cultural life. And we need to promote these other areas and make sure that persons with disabilities are also included and respected in all aspects of life, including these other areas. It's quite a task, but it's one that we are committed to, because in signing on with the UN Convention in 2007 and also ratifying it in 2013, we have given the commitment that we are here to help those with disabilities and walk them through if they need help, provide all the source of goods that we can give. The legislation that should be following, that will be coming soon, which will guarantee persons with disabilities a level of comfort in knowing that their rights will be taken care of in all aspects of life: health, education, financially, in all aspects.
Nicholas Critchlow was also a recent participant in the work experience class.
I was only doing a few things at home, so I decided to come here to get a job and to learn something to get in a job. I was doing some chef work before at skills training by St. Peter. I learned how to communicate with people. I went to some interviews. I went to learn some things. So it's quite nice. It's very nice. You should not give up. You should try out. You should get out there and to meet people and start getting somewhere in your life.
Coordinator of the Work Experience Program, Stevenson Evelyn, talks about that NDU project that resumed after the COVID-19 pandemic.
For persons with disabilities, those who may have been engaged before, but were, as a result of the disabling condition, would have been out of work, or those who are now seeking to get into the world of work, where we provide some training, in-class training for about 4 weeks It depends on the level of the individuals, because there are multiple disability types. And for about 4 weeks to have this in-class training. After that is successfully completed, then there's the work attachment, which is about 6 weeks. During the 4-week training sessions, it involves in terms of deportment, work ethic, communication within the workspace, time management, knowing their rights as employees within the workspaces, as well as in terms of the budgeting as well, and generally orientation into the world of work and how they're expected to treat to that. After that, then there's the 6 weeks attachment, whereby they're matched to particular work tasks within workspaces, employment spaces, and that is usually an agreement between the Disabilities Unit and the workspace. During the 4-week training, there's a stipend paid to the participants, to help them in terms of budgeting. You're going into work, you're supposed to report at X time, Y time, and in terms of bus fare and lunch, and the budgeting starts there, as well as within the 6-week attachment. There's also a stipend paid to those persons to get to and from work and to assist with their subsistence during that attachment. It is our desired hope that after that 6 weeks, based on their aptitude and attitude to the duties and responsibilities of the attachment, then is the hope that the employers will take them on. If they are taken out of staff, then they become a full-fledged member of the staff of that institute, of that establishment. The stipend stops and they are salaried. They are paid a salary by the employer. For those who are not successful after the attachment, it is experience that they would have garnered for the 6 + 4, about the 10 weeks, and any opening comes later on, they are there ready to take it with both hands. Thus far is within the distributive sector, the hospitality sector. There are 1 or 2 IT organizations that has expressed an interest in supporting us. But principally within the distributive sector, we're in terms of supermarket chains, supermarkets, in terms there are those with intellectual challenge in terms of repetitive type tasks. Then there are some who are pretty savvy with the IT. So in terms of whether it be their function principally computer or whatever, as well as then there are some who are interested in working with the elderly. There are 1 or 2 who express that interest, and there are 1 or 2 elder care facilities who would have expressed an interest, and one of our last participants attached to an elderly care home. So it varied, it depends on the interest of the participants. Then we will seek to match them to the employment area that they're inclined to. There are some who are like that. There are some really great corporate citizens that we have been blessed to have partnered with over the years, and I can say without doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, Massey now, which would have taken over from the Supercenter chain, have been gracious to us. The Jordan's chain would have been gracious to us. Within the hospitality sector, 1 or 2 hotels chain, but in the early days, I could mention Casuarina Hotel, it used to be the Silver Sands Hotel, it used to be the Crane. And then there were some restaurants that would have taken on persons with disabilities. So there are some who we are rekindling some of the relationships with our old relationships with, and there's some new ones who are coming on board. If it is that a person is employed and being a productive citizen, he or she contributes to the National Insurance and Social Security system. They are independent financial. They won't have to depend on, like, say, the national assistance grants through the welfare department. And they're, in terms of self-worth, is that to know that they can live, work, and earn in Barbados as every other citizen do. It is something in terms of their self-esteem, and they will live their citizenship. And that is most important to them. They don't want handouts, but they want to be independent in terms of working and earning for themselves.
The program that I coordinate is called the Flower Arranging Program, which is entitled the Beauty in Strengths Program. This program would have been showcased many years before COVID, but due to the COVID pandemic, this program came to a halt. It would have restarted last year in 2023, and this is the second cohort since the program would have restarted. We have about 20 participants in the class, and they have started, it has been running for the past 10 weeks thus far. We are about to finish the program because it was a total of 12 weeks. And for this program, 6 weeks was beginners, the other 6 weeks is advanced. So the beginners class does the artificial flowers, teaching them how to make boutonnieres, make bouquets, wreaths, flower arrangements, centerpieces. Then in the advanced class, we do them with the live flowers. So they learn how to cut flowers, build the flowers into the same centerpieces, wedding bouquets, wreaths, centerpieces, and also boutonnieres. Whatever is needed to be done with live flowers, they can do. The class has been very interactive. We have persons within the class with several disabilities, intellectual challenges, intellectual disabilities. We have persons with mobility challenges. We have persons with physical disabilities. But they all have one common goal to meet: to become self-sufficient, to be able to make a gainful employment, to be used within society. We find that the disabled are most times forgotten, and the unit has been working very tirelessly to assist these persons. They would have joined the class. They're very appreciative of what the unit is giving back to them, and they don't even want to finish the class, because several of them would have been echoing to me they want to return to strengthen what they learned to make themselves better. But I'm telling them they have to be able to strengthen themselves now and just get out there and sell their product. Then another thing we may have for those persons is getting persons to know that they are out there and they have this talent and they want to work and get something going for themselves to earn an income for them and their families. When you have a skill, no one can take that skill from you. Some people may be more gifted than some in terms of using their hands, but at least they're given the opportunity, and opportunities are not easy to come by. We go to the Vocational Training Board, there's a fee attached. We go to the SJPI, there's a fee attached. We go to the Barbados Community College, there's a fee attached. Many times persons within the disabled community are not working. None of them out there are gainfully employed, none. They're gainfully employed, so they wouldn't have money that they could take up and go and pay a tuition fee. But at the NDU, everything comes without a cost for this program. So they're given the opportunity to join the class, enroll, no fee attached. The opportunity to use the flowers, whatever they use within the class, the tools, the different flowers, the things for the gift baskets. That's the only thing they would have brought. Several items for their gift baskets, but some persons would have used artificial things in the meantime, but the main thing was to build the flower, but nothing is attached. No cost is attached to the program. What the unit does as well, those who live in St. Lucie and the far areas within the island, the unit picks them up, transports them to and from the class. St. Lucie, St. Peter, St. Thomas, St. Philip, the far parts in St. Lucie, far parts in St. Philip. The ones from St. Philip, they commute by bus, so they're able to get here because they're able-bodied. Intellectual challenges they may have, but they still know how to use the transport. The ones from St. Lucie, they have physical disabilities, so we have 2 amputees, one with blunt disease, she uses a cane. Then we have persons that have sickle cell with 2 strokes. Then we have persons who have cerebral palsy. So those are the ones that are collected by the transport to be dropped off and returned to their homes by the unit's transportation.
68-year-old floral arrangement tutor Anne Tull has a heart for people, and particularly the disabled.
Everybody don't be lucky at birth. to have a father and a mother. I was born. So I raised by adopted parents, and I have adopted children. 2, a son and a daughter. I don't think everybody accepts people for who they are. That's my opinion. It's important to be independent if they want to, because they can make money off it. You will not make money every day, but you can make a living, especially if the person can tap with an honest taste, or anybody that need work often, they can make something. We just to put everything into it. To put everything, it's just a number days work that you're working for a bank or anywhere else. It's the same thing to me. And I guess it's the same thing to them. Some is excited, and some, is more so than the others. So the ones that is faster is the ones that always, when they move, and then is excited to start. And sometimes you have to be careful, because the ones that is not so fast will get left behind. It's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling. That's a lot doing it. I also do it for myself personally. So it's a double for me.
Past Beauty in Strength participant Shima Bryan is now an assistant tutor and a testament of how people with disabilities learning the craft of arranging flowers can garner them income.
I came back because, one, I know it can help benefit others. What I learned, I can help benefit others. Teaching them also, don't have a problem teaching someone what I have learned, or even more than I learned. I don't have a problem teaching someone. So I came back to help people to be, especially people that have a disability, seems to feel that they can't do stuff. And my motto in the class is, do not use the word can't, you can. I was going to do the class so I can make money for myself, because I'm unemployed. So I said I want to do the class to help bring in income. So when I started the class, I was very passionate, very fussy, very bubbly. So the first day of class, it was very nice. The second day was good. See, the second week, I was like a pro for the second week. I was just doing it. But when I leave the class, I said I will start to advertise myself to go there, because they do like for funerals, and if anybody got a family relative that have a birthday, any sort of occasion, I will just do something for them. It's based on what they want. If they want a basket, if they want flower arrangements, if they want a wreath. I even did a funeral spray for our funeral, which that's the one you put on the casket, the big one. Yeah, it's a great feeling, especially when you see the customer face. That's the happiest part of it. And even when you're doing it, if you have to come and see it for yourself, when you start off, it's look basic, but when you add the flowers, like, just bring life. Do not underestimate someone by their presence. If you see they're walking with a band, a crutch, whichever description they're fit in with a disability, do not underestimate that person. That person can do over and beyond as a normal person.
The sign language training is geared to many persons. Particularly, we would have started with parents and caregivers of hearing impaired students, deaf and hard of hearing students. Then we would have expanded this year to the general public. We would have started this to bridge the gap, so to speak, because we recognize that, yes, we have a population of deaf and hard of hearing, and in terms of accessing, being able to access services, or even to, say good morning to someone, that pose a challenge for persons. So in doing so, we would have gone ahead and we would have opened up to the public, as I said. So right now, we have a total number of 81 participants, and those participants would have started the various levels. We have basic 1, that is the entry level, basic 2, and intermediate classes that are presently ongoing. We don't want persons to be discriminated against because of a language barrier, and that is what we recognize. So therefore, learning and providing sign language training for everyone is paramount for us. We would have started the class at Alexandra School, and that has been going very well. And the other 5 locations include Springer Memorial, Christchurch Foundation, the Irvin Wilson School, NDU. Yes, and NDU. Yes, so we currently have 2 classes running here at the National Disabilities Unit from Monday to Thursday. And the Alexandra schools will be Tuesdays and Thursdays, along with Christchurch Foundation, the Irvin Wilson School, and Springer Memorial School. And Warrens. Warrens is also an area because we would have thought best because of persons working in that catchment, you know, that would be an ideal location for persons to have a class in that area. So persons coming from St. James area, St. Michael area, Jackson and St. George, who work in that vicinity, instead of having them traverse other locations, they can easily utilize that location at the Warren's office complex. It has been going well thus far. And as I said, we are catering to parents, caregivers, and the general public. And they have expressed their thanks, and they're enjoying the sign language training. What some persons would have said is that, know that they know some of the basics, the fundamentals, that they are willing to go forward from basic 1 to basic 2. And we're hopeful that in them doing so, that they can go on to the intermediate classes so that they would have a more grounding. It's an exciting language to learn. That's as much as I can say. But for them, they're enjoying it and they look forward. Classes start from 5 and it runs until 7. And at 7, persons are still at their locations, commenting about what they would have learned. And I think that's the important thing, and to be able to share. We just don't want to start it for them and just stop. It has to be a continuous process so that they, as I said, their knowledge base can be increased, and that, they don't lose that skill that they're learning because they have children. And although parents might feel shy in a way to communicate in open space with their children, or when they have to represent them, that child will have someone there who's able to communicate for them, be the voice to the voiceless.
Newly trained primary school teacher Shari Lewis is the epitome of that person, taking her fresh sign language skills to work at St. Jude's Primary School in St. George.
I joined the class because I saw it as something that I wanted to learn. I love learning. So I saw the class and I told my friend, who's also part of the class, why not do this sign language class? She was like, I was not about to sign it. I was like, great, we're gonna sign up. And I told her it would be a good personal and professional development for us. Personally, we'd be we'll learn sign language. So in case we go somewhere and we see someone who is not hearing or we consider deaf, we can talk, at least if they need assistance, we'd be oh, we know a little sign, we can help you. And we can interact there, or we can interact with each other. And then in professional, because we're teachers, there may come a student who may come my way who may be deaf, or what we consider hard of hearing. And I would like that I can communicate with that child and not make them feel alone. Right now, our society or our government is pushing for inclusion. So why not prepare yourself in the early? Every time I've learned something new from my class, from sign language classes, I take it to school the next day, and I use it as a classroom management tool. That's what we say, to help control your class. I've taught some of my class 2s, I've taught some of my class 1s, haven't got to 3s and 4s yet, but I've taught the class 1s how to say bathroom, how to ask please, how to say sorry. They'd be like, teacher, what's something else we could learn? Teacher, what's the next thing? What's this? What's that? Because it's something new to them, so they want to learn. I taught some of them how to say their age, what colors they like, their favorite color, how to say excuse me. Like simple phrases they may use in everyday classroom. I've taught them it with signs, so it's easier. Or sometimes may cut the noise level if you wait too high. You can turn and so you get quiet. I would like to at least have where it can do a little club, a little sign language club at the school, but baby steps first.
For Hamilton Howard, the need to strengthen family ties inspired him to attend the sign language classes.
My madam, her son is actually hearing impaired. So in order to actually have a better communication with him, I said, you know what? She introduced the opportunity. I was like, yeah, for sure. At first, it was very scary in the sense of, I don't like to fail with stuff. So I was like, suppose I don't get this right. And I was like, you wouldn't know until you actually give it a try. And upon coming, it was actually a lot more exciting and interesting than I ever expected. Every single day is a learning curve. Apart from what I'm learning here, he is also still learning. So then it actually gives me the ability to also be a student and a teacher. So it's definitely exciting, yeah. Well, at first when he recognized that, ooh, you can sing too, because he actually calls me La. So I say, La, wow! So he's definitely excited knowing that I can actually communicate with the sign as well. So it has definitely been joy. That's the truth, it has definitely been joy.
And the sign language tutor Mark Green, who has been working with persons with disabilities for many years, is simply proud.
I love the fact that there are persons who are interested in communicating with persons who are deaf. So it's like they may not know someone who's deaf. They may not have deaf persons in their lives, but the fact that they know that it is a possibility that themselves may be, or that at some point they may be able to come into contact with someone who they will be able to communicate with, and their knowledge will help that person in some way. That is, I think that's what is driving them to do what they're doing. I always say to them, think of yourself as a person in a foreign land who does not speak the language. And you find just one person who is able to, they may not do it in the best way, but they are able to communicate with you. That person becomes your lifeline. So you may become a lifeline for someone one day. Well, number one, I think one of the main things is that you develop an appreciation for what a person who is deaf really has to go through. Because sometimes we don't think about it, but when you are in a situation now where you are asked to communicate in another way, in another form, and in a form that you are not familiar with, it makes you now more appreciate persons who have to communicate in this way. It may seem glamorous to some, but for a person who's deaf, this is their only way to get information to someone or from someone.
As Barbados strives to become a more inclusive society, there is no doubt that the National Disabilities Unit will continue to assist persons with disabilities to realize their true potential.